Guys, today I present you the new Wreckage 2-player starter set. So here we have our very first unboxing video on the channel. And I'm very excited because I'm going to show you the new Wreckage 2-player starter set I got for review. So without any further ado, let's have a look at the box. Well, as you can see, it doesn't really look like a box. It's closer to one of those survivalist seed bundles you find online on prepper sites. I wasn't expecting anything like this, but let's be totally honest. How freaking awesome is this package? Look at that. I mean, when I first pulled this out of the envelope, it totally fooled me. I was expecting the classic cardboard box, so without even reading the envelope label, I just assumed it was something my wife bought and I just opened it. I was so baffled. And my first reaction was like, why on earth did my wife buy survival seeds? We barely have a small garden. What was she thinking? It was only after reading 2-player Wreckage starter below the big block titles that I realized I had been completely fooled by this. I love this packaging so much. If we have a closer look, you can also see that the contents are listed like seeds together with purity and germination rates. You will also probably be really happy to know that the miniatures are all GMO-free, open-pollinated, non-hybrid strains. Wreckage looks like a long-term, sustainable game system. Okay, so jokes apart, I really like this style of cover art, if we may say, because it summarizes the whole game spirit. Think about the people in the Wreckage devastated world uncovering a bag like this from the ground. It can represent the difference between life and death. It reminded me of the Garden of Eden creation kit in Fallout 2, back in the day when Fallout was a good game, but I'm digressing. So let's go into the details of what comes in the bag. As you can see, this is a Drifter versus Stakers that comes with 3 Drifter Locusts, 1 Berserker, and 1 Chieftain. The Stakers instead consist of 2 Field Hands, 2 Outriders, and 1 Crop Medic. Needless to say that all the figures come with bases. Finally, we have a piece of terrain, a generator to be used in the introductory scenarios. In addition, the set comes with a mini rulebook and an introductory scenario pack to introduce you to the game and guide your first steps in the wilds. Let's now have a look at the books that come in the set. Here's the mini rulebook. I know I can't show this on screen, but I really like how silky the covers feels to the touch. It doesn't feel like a cheap print. Please note that the rulebook is not the full rulebook though, so if you really like the game and want to unlock the whole universe surrounding the core mechanics, you will need to buy the full one. If you do well with PDF rulebooks, you can grab it for $12 on their website. I'll put the link down in the description. I reckon they also have the mini book there and you can actually download it for free, so definitely check it out. For this reason, I'm not going into rule details, because you can just grab the book and read it. But if we give the book a quick flip through, you can see it has all the rules you need to play the game. Like each attribute description, and shooting with all the target numbers and modifiers, or character creation and the rules for advancing them. As you can see, it even goes beyond that by giving you a list of all the character traits, abilities, or weapons lists. This way you can start personalizing your characters even without venturing into archetypes or even community building. If you do so, you probably need other minis, but it's fine if you're just learning. And don't forget, the authors of the game actually encourage the use of proxies, so... Next, let's move to the scenario booklet. I didn't get the scenario pack in the bag because Matt from Hyacinth Games sent me some extra bits in the bag and it probably didn't fit. But I got the PDF version. You can see its cover. In the book, you'll find all you need to start playing right away. The first scenario is literally a walkthrough because it teaches you initiative and how to move your group around. You're literally walking around the board here. Being Wreckage a heavily story-driven campaign game, the outcome of the first scenario determines the starting position for the second one. In this mini-story, a group of stakers found an old generator and they're going to defend it from the drifters. The drifters, instead, have to sneak by the generator without being spotted by staker sentries. The book gives you the rules on how to move the sentries around, how to spot hiding drifters, and how to raise alarm. So this second encounter is especially good to showcase the flexibility of the game rules. In your encounters, you go on and set this kind of special rules by tapping from the immense pool of abilities and actions that the rulebooks offer. So kudos to Matt and Anton for including this one in the starter set. I'll let you discover the whole backstory and the third scenario if you decide to buy the set. Finally, what we were all waiting for, the miniatures. As I said, this 2-player starter comes with 10 pewter miniatures, 5 drifters and 5 stakers, and a big plastic generator. So let's have a look closer. Here I have what I think is the Drifter Berserker. It comes with a badass shield and a sort of harpoon, like a medium hand weapon, if I'm not mistaken. It looks pretty cool, like some sort of Hokuto no Ken villain, you know? I really like him. He's definitely going to get a pink Mohican for sure. Oh, and I also like this guy here. Is a veteran outrider. The sculpt reminds me of a Mercs House 9 member, which is one of my favorite sculpts, so I'm really digging this one. As you can see, if we have a closer look, apart from some flash and that can be promptly removed, you don't see any real mold line. No, you can just spot a little hint right here, but well, this is really impressive. Good job with the minis, guys. I really like them. One thing I may say is that it's difficult to determine who is who at a first glance. You can do it by matching weapons and equipment from the scenario booklet, but a visual guide would be really awesome. Some of the minis need a little bit of assembly, and all of them need some prepping and priming. If you want to see how I do it, you can go and check out the video in the card on the top right of the screen. Finally, we have the generator. I still have to assemble it and attach the monitors, but take a look at this dude here. He's really beautiful. At first I thought the guys at Hyacinth Games made the big move towards injection mold plastic, but then I realized that Mantic is the OEM here. They're just including it in the set. Nothing wrong with that. I believe terrain or scenery is always a welcome addition in these starters, so I'm glad they did this instead of skipping scenery altogether. Also, machinery can be modeled to be as grungy as you want, so if you paint it properly it will just fit perfectly as the main objective for the first introductory encounters. In this regard, I'm feeling a painting tutorial maybe coming down the road. I think it will be a part of one of a bigger series maybe, because I'm kicking around the idea of making a whole game board to use in Wreckage, Strontium Dog, or why not even Kill Team games. If I get the time to mess with it, it would be something based on a self-sufficient survivalist settlement or maybe a homestead, which fits pretty perfectly with the setting in Sitbank, so wait for it. Fourth cut. So here we have it, the new Wreckage 2-player starter set. What do I think about it? Well, this is the first time I see Wreckage miniatures in person, and I have to say I was really impressed by the quality. Of course, they are not heroic scales, so they are pretty different from the GW range that many people take as a reference. Here I have a Plague Marine and the Wolf Sternhammer from Strontium Dog for scale reference. You can see what I mean, right? They look flimsy against GW new minis, but they're perfectly fine against other 28mm figures. We're talking about real 28mm scale OG miniatures here. So if you're an oldie like I am, you will definitely like their look. And you get 10 of them. So not bad for almost homemade miniatures, I think. Let's see if we can make a couple calculations. So the set costs you 60 bucks and it comes with a 9 bucks rulebook. So it's 51. Then you have the generator, which is maybe 10 bucks. Yeah, makes sense. So they're around like 40 bucks for 10 miniatures, so they're 4 bucks per miniature. So not super cheap, but still very reasonably priced, if you ask me. I mean, there are some affordable minis out there, and Mantics come to mind, for example. But if you compare with GW, the price is just right. So let's say you want to play Kill Team, and you buy 1 box of minis and the rulebook. That's around 90 bucks. Hard to make a fair comparison, because they have slightly more minis, and well, then again you get just one faction to begin with, but you still see why I think this set looks fairly priced, right? The books. I know the mini rulebook can be downloaded for free from the website, so it's not strictly required in the starter set. But believe me, the first times you'll play, you will have a lot of flipping back and forth, and having a small and portable book is just perfect. So yes, it is worth those 9 bucks. Another thing many people keep forgetting about. Not everybody has a tablet or iPad to properly read rulebooks on the go. So having paper references analog, yes, but still really appreciated. And you will also be really glad when all those paper books that you have will be the only remainings after the next EMP hits your town and the society will crumble. So yeah, books. Again, scenarios actually work pretty well as an introduction, but I feel like they could have included something more. Maybe creating an open-ended campaign that you could carry on by yourself, for example. I don't know. Many people love to be told exactly what to do step by step, while others hate it, literally. So, and they want total control over what they're doing. It's hard to make everybody happy, but after all, this is just a starter, and Wreckage is a heavily story-driven game, so if you're still listening now, I bet you like this RPG miniature hybrid type of game, and you can come out with your own stories easily. Price-wise, I wouldn't call this one a cheap product, but don't get me wrong, as I probably showed you, you get what you pay for, and buying the single item separately, well, they retail almost twice the price, so we have good solid value here. Also, you can't get many other 2-player starters that I can think of for this price. Well, maybe the Strontium Dog starter comes close, but you get less minis and a bigger MDF terrain, so they are almost the same. I may review this one in a future video too. And again, Wreckage is a sandbox RPG miniature hybrid game that leaves you far more freedom to write your stories and fine-tune your character. So if you put this into the value equation, well, you will be very satisfied with your purchase. To conclude, if you have a friend that may be interested or you know somebody that's on the fence, why don't you share with him or her this starter set? You get 2 factions, so you can get rolling right away, and this starter is definitely a good way to get a taste of the game. So share the video with those who may be interested, and let's get this wonderful game to the widest audience possible. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and that you were able to find the info you were looking for. Let me know what you think about the set or the game itself down in the comments, and if you have any questions or you want to know any more details, for example, just ask me and I will reply you as soon as I get to see the comment. Thank you for watching.